Hello and welcome back to Baking on a Budget. Now in this video we are going to be making one of these. This is a 10-inch pepperoni pizza. We're going to make the base from scratch and we're going to make the tangy pizza sauce from scratch also. Okay, as usual we have all of the ingredients over here and I'm going to run through them, tell you exactly how much they cost and then we'll put it all together. We start with 250 grams of strong bread flour and that's 18 pence. We have 7 grams of dried yeast, which is 7 pence. We have 1 teaspoon of sugar at 1 penny. We have a pinch of salt and we have 180 ml of warm water. That's for the pizza dough. Now with that we're going to get 2 pizza doughs out of that. The total cost of this amount here is 26 pence. So each 10-inch pizza base will cost us 13 pence. Now for the sauce, we have 1 tin of tomatoes at 50 pence. We have 1/4 of a tube of tomato puree at 16 pence. We have a clove of garlic at 3 pence. We have 1 teaspoon of oregano, 4 pence. We have a teaspoon of basil, also 4 pence. And we have 1/2 teaspoon of sugar, which again is about a penny. And salt and pepper to taste. So the total cost of the sauce is 80 pence. And I'm saying we'll get about 6 pizzas out of that. So that again is 13 pence per pizza for the sauce. Now for the topping, obviously many things you can put on a pizza, but I'm going to put mozzarella cheese and pepperoni. So I have 150 grams of mozzarella at £1.50 and I have 65 grams of pepperoni at 75 pence. So if we take all that, add it all together, the total cost per pizza is £2.51. This is a fresh out of the oven, beautiful 10-inch pizza, £2.51. Alright, so the first stage of this is to make the dough. Take our spoonful of sugar and put this into this lukewarm water. Now this is lukewarm, it's not hot and it's not cold. It's just in between. It's like a baby bath. You know, if you put your finger in it, it's just warm. Okay, so we dissolve the sugar in there and then we want to put the yeast in. And we'll just combine all of that, stir it all in. And then we want to leave that for about 15 minutes until it starts to froth on the top. So I'm just going to stick this tea towel over it and set it aside. Okay, now that's had about 15 minutes. And as you can see, a froth has occurred on the top of it. And that's just fine. Now, we're going to put the flour. This is a strong bread flour. Very important when you're making bread to use the stronger flour. This has got a higher protein content and it's that higher protein content which you need to make beautiful bread. So we have that. We're just going to pour the yeast mixture into there. Get all of that out. We're going to combine it with the spoon. And as soon as that comes together, we want to get it out on the board and start kneading it. This will want kneading for about 10 minutes, a full 10 minutes of kneading for this particular dough. Many different ways to make bread, but this is a very simple dough and it makes a beautiful pizza base. Okay, now that's come together. As you can see, it's still quite sticky, but that's okay. As we knead it, that will get smoother and smoother. And as it takes up a little bit of flour from the board, that will help it along also. So we're going to flour the board, like so. And the important thing here is to flour your hands also, otherwise this will stick to your hands. Okay, we got that out, plenty of flour there. And now we just want to start kneading it. And the idea with this is simply to push down with the heel of the hand, bring it back and do it again. And it's simply that action, that motion. And as I say, we want to continue doing that for about 10 minutes. This is a very good workout, by the way. Now, if you're fortunate enough to have a stand mixer, you could do this with a door hook on the mixer, and that would probably make the process easier. I don't have a stand mixer, and I don't mind kneading dough, it's okay, you know. As I say, it's a little bit of a workout, and it wants to be a full 10 minutes by the clock. Okay, 10 minutes later, and the dough is looking good. I'll just get that together and show you. That's much less sticky at this point. If you put your finger in it, it'll come back a bit, and that's looking good. So I'm going to put that there, and then we just need to cover it and let it prove. In the bowl, I just have a little drizzle of oil, which I'm going to spread around the bowl, and then we are going to pop it right in there, and just get some oil on that as well on the top of it, like so. That's all good. Now we want to cover that. I'm just going to cover it with this tea towel. This wants to go somewhere fairly warm, and just leave it for about an hour. It'll double in size, and then we'll get back to it. In the meantime, we are going to get on with the pizza sauce. Okay, now to make this delicious sauce, what I want to do is just put the gas on very low with the pan over it. I've got a little bit of oil in there, not a lot, just a small amount of oil. And into that, first I'm going to put this chopped garlic. So the garlic goes in first, and we certainly don't want to burn this. So as I say, a very low heat. Now, we're going to put some basil in there. And this is 1 teaspoon of basil. In it goes. And we also have a teaspoon of oregano. A generous teaspoon, that was. Okay, so we want to stir that up. Let the flavours come out of the herbs and out of the garlic. And as soon as you start smelling that, really, as soon as you get the fragrances from that, we can put the tomatoes in. Alright, so well, tomatoes, I've blended these tomatoes. This was just a tin of chopped tomatoes, but they've been blended. And we just want to get them all out of there. That's it. And along with the tomatoes, to make this a really rich sauce, I'm also going to put in some of this tomato puree. This will just thicken it up a bit. And I want about 1/4 of a tube of that. I would say that's about 1/4 of the tube. It smells beautiful already. And we'll just put a little bit of sugar in there. I'm just going to put about 1/2 teaspoon in. That's probably enough. Now what we want to do is just let that simmer away on the heat. Again, as I say, a very low heat. We don't want to burn this or boil it or anything like that. We just want it to heat up, simmer a little, and thicken. Okay, so 1 hour later, our dough is ready, and it has indeed doubled in size. Now I'm just going to turn that out onto the board. There it is. And I'm just going to knock the air out of it. Again, this isn't really another kneading. We just want to knock any air out of there and make sure that that's all good. That is looking good. Right, now I'm going to cut that in half, because as I say, we're going to get 2 10-inch pizzas out of this. Now, before we start shaping this, I'm just going to let it rest there for a little while. Get it into a rough round. And I'm going to cover it back over with the tea towel, and we'll give that about 15 minutes to rest. Okay, so 15 minutes later they have rested, and what we're going to do now is just very lightly flour the board, and we're going to take one of these and we're going to knock it into a circle. Best done just with the knuckles, really, and you just keep going with that, pushing it out all the time until we have something resembling about a 10-inch round. I mean, some of these do turn out more square than round, but that doesn't really matter. It will taste exactly the same. But we just want to continue this sort of action. Obviously you can't pick it up and start throwing it around, but I don't know about that. Well, that's pretty good. That does stretch it, but I suppose that would take a little bit of practice to get it perfect. This does for me just fine. There we are. Alrighty, so the next thing we want to do with this is put it onto whatever you're going to bake it on. Now I'm baking this on this perforated tray. I don't have a pizza stone. A stone, they tell me, is very good. I've now tried one. But this is just going on this perforated tray. If you don't have a perforated tray, just a normal baking sheet would do absolutely all right. Now with the other piece of dough, I'm just going to whack that in there, put a bit of cling film on it, and I'll stick it in the fridge, and that'll be okay for about 2 or 3 days in the fridge. Okay, so now we want to combine all of this. We have our delicious pizza sauce here, and I'm just going to put some of that on and spread it around. That smells great. The rest of this I'm going to put into a jar, and I'll keep in the fridge, keep for a long time in the fridge. And with that, you're going to get about 6 pizzas out of that. So, back to the cost of this. This so far is 26 pence. It was 13 pence for the base, and it's about 13 pence for this sauce. The thing left to do is to put the topping on. Now, as I say, I'm using mozzarella here. You don't have to use mozzarella. I know it's very popular on a pizza, but you could indeed use any cheese. You may be able to find a less expensive cheese than the mozzarella, and that would bring the cost of your beautiful homemade pizza down even further. Let's get all of that on there. That's it. Looking delicious. And then the pepperoni. Again, a thing of personal choice. Many different things you can put on a pizza. But I've got this pepperoni, so I'm just going to cover it in the pepperoni. And as I say, the total cost of this pizza is £2.51. And I think that's fairly reasonable. That will be absolutely delicious. Now, this is going into a hot oven, about 200 degrees, and it's only going to stay in there for about 10 to 12 minutes. And as I say, all of the conversions from grams and ounces, different oven temperatures, are included in the description below the video, along with all of the ingredients and the whole method. Okay folks, that's had 10 minutes in the oven, and it looks absolutely delicious. It smells beautiful as well. As you can see, the crust has risen nicely, crisp on the top, still nice and soft inside. And what we'll do is just cut into that, and I shall take a slice off. Let's put some of that there. I will get that slice onto my plate, and I will tell you how that tastes. That looks delicious. Okay, look at this. That looks scrumptious. I cannot wait. I'm going to take a slice of that. The base, as you can see, is beautifully browned on the bottom. Nice and crisp. That's beautiful. And as I say, this whole pizza, £2.51. As you can see, the crust has a nice crisp on the outside and is beautifully risen. Now, can I just say a huge thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the channel. I'm really enjoying all of the comments, and to hear that others have tried these recipes and are enjoying them themselves, that's great. That is what it's all about. And if you're new to the channel, please do consider subscribing. There's going to be loads more dead simple meals like this, all on a very low budget, and I'll show you exactly how to do every stage of it. I'm going to enjoy the rest of this pizza. I thank you very much for watching.